Alright guys, this is an unboxing, if there was a box, of the Mercer Culinary Genesis short bolster 8-inch chef knife. Now, I already took it out of the package. It was one of those things where I thought I was hitting the start button on the video and I was actually hitting the stop button or something. But look at this, man. I'm excited to get the knife. It's my first serious chef's knife. And I've read all the reviews and everything. I saw all the comparisons to the higher end knives. So I know I'm going to be happy with the knife unless it's damaged from this flimsy ass packaging. I can't believe a knife was shipped this way. Really. Not when this little plastic jar of Folgers comes in a box this big, full of all kinds of wrapping paper and all kinds of stuff. You know, I would expect something like this to come in something like this. Anyway, so you open it up, and the knife is just in this little plastic container. This looks like something that ought to be hanging on the shelf at Kroger or something like that. Matter of fact, not even at Kroger, at the little local Fiesta. That's how this damn thing was packaged. I bought this at Fiesta. It makes a better hammer than it does a knife, you know? It's super dull. This is a serious knife, and I'm just really blown away that it was shipped that way. Alright, so that's the unboxing. Now let's see how sharp it is out of the box. Probably the angle, but I can see that it's cutting this paper. I'm sure I'm not doing it right, guys. I have a lot to learn. But as far as I can tell, with my limited knowledge, everything seems okay with the blade. And it's definitely sharp. I'm sure it was the angle I was using or whatever, but it's definitely sharp, guys. All right.
It's my Mercer Genesis 8-inch high carbon steel chef's knife with the Granton edge and the short bolster. I bought this from Webstron store about 4.5 years ago, and shame on me, I'm just putting in the review now, but call it a long-term review. I have other German steel forged knives like Wüsthof Classics and Zwilling knives, but this is the one that I reach for most often over the last 4 years. It stays the sharpest, it's very well balanced, and I love the short bolster because I sharpen my own knives. So when you have a full bolster that goes all the way down to here, getting that bottom edge sharp, even honing on a honing steel, is difficult. The short bolster gives you full access to pull the knife edge to edge through your sharpener or along your honing steel, and that's part of what helps it keep its sharpness. The Granton edge is these little pockets, these air pockets, that make the blade overall a little less weighty, help slice through things that might otherwise be difficult to slice through. You know, you can argue whether the benefit there is negligible or not, but my experience, this knife is the one that is the most pleasure to work with. It's the one I reach for most often, and it stays incredibly sharp. This hasn't been sharpened for several months, but look at it slice through a tomato here. So there you have it. I highly recommend this knife. The Mercer 8-inch forged short bolster Granton edge. Can't go wrong.
I'm really just over here laughing about the fact that maneuverability is one of the things that you can make this knife for. I tuned it up a little bit with my Wusthof 9-inch knife steel, and it is super sharp. Felt great cutting tomatoes and peppers, and it's a nice size. It's good as my second kitchen knife. Good if somebody wants to come over and help me do some prep for a meal.